Hey guys, Sarah here from Yarn Lab Canada, and I just wanted to share with you a quick tip about Clue 1 from Stephen West's WESTKNITS 2015 Mystery KAL. This is the mystery knit-along shawl. It's the first time that I've done one of his patterns, let alone one of his mystery shawls, but I'm really excited for it. And I just wanted to show you something that I'm doing a little bit different than in the pattern. So you can see that I've gone through the first 3 wedges of the pattern, so hopefully I'm not spoiling anything for people who just started, but I wanted to show this to you now so that hopefully you can, if you choose, incorporate it into your own shawl. So I'm going to flip it over, and what you can see is I only have 2 ends, so I just have the end where I cast on, and I have the first end of my color B. And this is different because in Stephen's pattern he has you breaking off color B each time you finish one of these stripes, which is going to really exponentially increase the number of ends that you have. Not exponentially, but it's going to quickly increase the number of ends that you have to weave in, and for me I always love to avoid weaving in the ends. So where my ends are going is I thought, since we're doing an icord border, why wouldn't I just carry my color B through the inside of my icord border, and then have it be available for me right here, carry it up through the icord and have it available right here. So you can see kind of when I roll my icord open, there you go, you can kind of see it poking through. The color B is just carrying along inside that icord. So I just wanted to show you how you can do that and avoid having to break off. I've done it for a couple of repeats now and it doesn't affect the tensioning or anything along the edge. So once you finish your end with color B, and the last bit of that row has you bringing your yarn to the front and slipping the last 3 stitches, Stephen would have you break off color B now in order to weave in that end after. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tuck it into the icord as I start my next row. So the way that you need to do that is you need to get your color B crossing over top of your color A. So for the first time, what you're going to do is you're just going to bring your color B across, swing color A around, and you're going to kind of hold it down and then go ahead and knit those first 3 stitches. So I've got my B pulled across and I'm going to knit my first 3 stitches. And now you can see that my color B is linked in to my icord. Then I'm going to go ahead and knit this row as is called for in the pattern and come back the opposite direction. Curious at all about the yarn that I'm using, it is from a Vancouver-based indie dyer. It's called Indigo Moon Yarns, and it's the High Tide Merino. So it's 100% merino fingering weight yarn, and the dark color is, I believe, Vancouver Rain, and the lighter color is Ocean Mist, although Ocean Mist isn't one of her typical colorways. I think it was a one-off because the labeling was different and it doesn't appear on the website. But so far it's been really great yarn for this. So now I can go back in the opposite direction. For the I-cord, when you get to the last 3, you're going to hold the yarn in front and slip the last 3 stitches. And so now we're ready to move to the next row. And again, keep this color B tucked inside of the I-cord. So what you can do is you can flip over to the right side of your work, and what you have on the back side behind you is color A over here and color B over here. And what I've been doing is if you just hold color B up. So let's zoom in a little bit more. So what I do is I just hold color B straight up, and you can hold it in place with your finger, and then you're going to pass color A underneath it, and then knit the first 3 stitches to close up your I-cord. Oops. So and you can see that that's tucked, and you can see that that's tucked your color B into the inside of those 3 stitches into the I-cord. So each time you start your new row, you're going to want to make sure that you have color B held up. So each time you start your new row, you're going to want to make sure that you have color B held up and that you're passing color A underneath it in order to kind of curl it into the I-cord. And then you can go ahead and knit this row as normal. The only downside to doing this is that each time you do it, you do twist color A and color B's yarns together, but you can just untwist them as you go. For me, getting my yarns a bit tangled is definitely preferable to having, you know, it looks like we're going to do a number of these wedges, so each wedge is going to be 2 loose ends that you'd have to tuck in otherwise. You do just want to make sure that you're not pulling, tight on color B when it's inside the I-cord, to not sort of affect the tension of the I-cord or have any kinks in it, but I've carried it up through both of these sections of the I-cord and it hasn't affected the tensioning of the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and knit the rest of this wedge. I'll show you the tuck it in trick one more time, and then I'll also show you when I'm ready to put in my next stripe how you get it untucked from the I-cord. Since this is just a lot of straight knitting, I don't think you guys need to watch, and I wouldn't want to give away Stephen's pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and knit this, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to switch back to the blue, the light blue. So I just wanted to show you the crossing over that you would use on regular rows to keep color B, the light blue color, tucked into the I-cord one more time. So before I turn it over, I have color B closer to the end of my needle, and I have color A on the inside because I passed color A to the front of my work, and then I slipped my last 3 stitches. And basically you want to keep color B up like this, so that you're passing color A across like that, and then when I knit those front 3, that's going to curl that I-cord around and keep the color B strand tucked inside. So if I have this one held up and I cross my color A in front, I pinch and hold my work, then I can turn it over to the other side and go right ahead and knit those first 3 stitches of the I-cord, keeping my color B hidden inside the I-cord. Okay, so now I finished the last row of that section of the wedge, and I'm ready to go to the first row using color B. So the beginning is going to be the same. You're going to want to hold it up again and cross this one over it in order to keep it tucked in. So you can hold it up, cross it over, pinch those, and turn my work around to the right side. And then knit my first 3 stitches, closing up the I-cord with color A. And now I'm ready to just go right ahead and knit with color B instead. So don't need to do anything, it'll just pop out of the I-cord here to go do your 2 rows in color B, and then we can tuck it back into the I-cord as we did at the beginning down here. So it really is just that simple. You can see that I am a little bit tangled up between my cable needle and the balls of yarn, but that'll happen. So you can just drop color A and go right ahead and begin knitting with color B. I'll just show you how that looks on the back one more time. You can see I have my color A still attached to the I-cord. My color B has come along into the work, and there's no evidence of it running up the edge of the work. And again, you just want to watch out for when you start this first stitch, you don't want to have any tension on color B through the I-cord, because it's been carried up from here to come into this row. And even though you've sort of twisted it in each time, so it's almost like knitting it in, and it is kind of locked in place, if you did pull on it, you would end up cinching your I-cord edge, which would pucker the work here. So you just want to be careful that the very first couple of stitches don't have excess tension on it, and you can do that even by just sort of tugging down a little bit on the I-cord edging to make sure you've got enough of color B inside that you're not pulling anything tight. Anyways, I hope that you found this helpful. It's what I'm going to go ahead and do everywhere that I can along this pattern to, like I said, avoid having a ton of ends to sew in when I'm done. It's also a great way to save up yardage on color B. If you, I did notice in the Ravelry group that there were people who ordered different variants or some older variants of the hedgehog fiber where the balls didn't have a full 400 yards. And so if you need to try and save some extra yardage, you're going to be able to save quite a bit of your color B by not having, you know, usually people leave like 6-inch tails every time they do a break, so it might not seem a lot, but you can actually add up quite a bit of yardage considering how many times you would otherwise have to break off this color and tuck tails in. Anyways, hope you're enjoying this WESTKNITS KAL, and I'll be doing a weekly vlog on how I've been enjoying and how I found each clue to have gone. So you can subscribe to my channel and check back for that. That's all for now, and happy knitting!